नित्यानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वदी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं Satgurum Tam Namami. Nityanandam, and welcome to this very exciting, very special Ask the Avatar. Tonight's Adinavasis, who are going to sit in the hottest seat of the multiverse and ask His Holiness Bhagwan Paramahamsa Shri Nityananda, our Swamiji, anything and everything, are individuals who can't be introduced properly by another adult Adinavasi. They can only really be introduced by a Balasant of the Nityananda Sangha. So it's with great joy and pleasure I invite Ma Nitya Tattva Priyananda to introduce tonight's featured Adinavasis.
Nityanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasyaadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Nityanandam, I welcome all of you for this Asdavata session today. We all were blessed to have the opportunity where we all got to witness the Darbar scene of Kailash. In today's session, we are going to witness the people who were the backbone, or I can better call it as behind the scene people who organized the whole thing and who were standing up as Swamiji's pillar for the whole Nityananda Gurukul to happen. So with the blessings of Swamiji, I now invite the Advaits on the stage.
போல் தங்கை உறங்குகிறாள் அண்ணன் வாழ வைப்பான் என்று அமைதி கொண்டாள் கலைந்திடும் கனவுகள் அவள் படைத்தாள் அண்ணன் கற்பனை தேரினில் பறந்து சென்றான்.
Pasamalar, the ultimate journey of a sister. This is a true story of the cosmic brother Swamiji and his sister Ma Advait and her cute husband Rishi Advait. On this day, 45 years ago, in preparation of his avatarhood, Sadashiva sent down to Bhuloka his power of integrity as Ma Advait. Ma Advait's parents are very religious and spiritual, a typical Chennai Mylapore Brahmin family. So all they did was to take her to temple in the morning and evening to some satsang by a random old man. But they had no hopes on Ma Advait because she was just the opposite. Always naughty, playing and running away, escaping, thinking that all these are boring ideologies. One thing that connected her was Kapalishwara temple and the Sai Baba temple in Mylapore and the Pilliyar temple near her home, which she lovingly calls as Pulli. Mahadvait was a special child, dyslexic by nature, having problem with reading, understanding, learning, hesitant speech, pretty much everything. Only her brother Anand helped Mahadvait in all the education and pushed Mahadvait into doing engineering, BE. Swamiji puts it as brain empty. Unlike the Advaits, their family was very intellectual. Mahadev's father and brother, both IIT and PhD. Rishi's father, ISS, and brother, IIT. Mahadev was left with her aunt and grandparents when she was brought up a year old, and her parents left to the USA. She grew up waiting for her mother's love all the time for 2 years. Love failure 1. By then, she thought that her aunt was her mother till suddenly the real mother comes back and snatches her and says her aunt is all gone and married. So again, second love failure. Disillusioned, she started seeking the world for love. Before meeting Rishi Advait, she got into many love affairs and broke up badly many times. Her will persistence, she did not give up on finding her hope or finding love. And the first time she saw Rishi Advait. She knew he was the one. Of course, he was also looking good at that time. For her to realize the purpose of her life, Mahadev worked as an IT software engineer for 10 years in Cognizant, and that's where she met Rishi Advait. Before Rishi Advait, she was waiting to meet some master till 1995, but failed and did not know what to do. So she decided to get married when Rishi Advait proposed in 1996. Mahadev had so many critical life emergency surgeries, and if not for him, boom, all would be gone. But he always supported his wife. Rishi Advait is an extremely great teacher, father, husband. Gentleman. He's everybody's dream come true husband. But still, something always was missing in her life. Mahadev suffered through her school life because of the expectation of her parents, not her teachers, as she bunked her classes most of the time. So she wanted an unconditional school for the children and restart the life of playing and enjoying with children. Mahadev had always thought that life is for seeking and life of all so that she can is to get enlightenment. Swamiji has designed the life of all so that he can play his Leela. Mahadev had a very bad time after year 2000 when Sai Krishna, her first child, was born in the 7th month of pregnancy. Weighing just a kilo, head the size of an orange, with transparent ears, matchstick-sized fingers, and every day of the first 6 weeks was spent trying to make the child survive. This challenge pushed Mahadev to understand more about children. Since Mahadev did not have a master, she decided to take the closest master available on planet Earth, children. Upon returning back to India, Mahadev started a school in Chennai on October 2nd, 2006. Please note the divine play. At that time, the Advaits did not know who Swamiji was, but it was exactly on that same day, October 2nd, 2006, about 350 kilometers away in Bidadi, Swamiji started Nityananda Gurukul. Repeating again, this was the same date when Swamiji started Nityananda Gurukul, the institution where he wanted to create the next phase of transition of mankind, creating super conscious humans, creating gods. Living in India with no help from anyone and having 2 children, managing the house, managing the school, the stress was building up. The discussion in Mahadev's family was always about masters, contemplation, who am I, spiritual, blah, 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 blah. Early in the 2007, her brother sent her the e-book link of Uncommon Answers for Common Questions and Swamiji's brain scan video. Wow, Madhed's life ended there, or actually started there. Yes, finally, a master wanted to see Madhed. Madhed's family finally, for the first time, went to do the NSP together in Salem. In the first day, first session itself, Madhed was so connected to the usage of words and the practical spirituality that Swamiji spoke. She always felt that the words were like flowers and he is making a garland and we are watching. Her brother ran away the second day getting high fever. Her parents stayed back to take care of their daughter Madhvet, who was in the last few rows, floating in ecstasy of words and waiting to hear more and more of Swamiji. The icing on the cake was when Swamiji danced so gracefully on the last day of darshan and Madhvet saw Krishna and couldn't believe the eyes because she never dreamt or thought of Krishna in life except eating sweets on Krishna Janmashtami. That's when Madhet knew this is it. So all Madhet did was bought all the possible DVDs as books are too hard to read and started attending all the NSP, Kalpatarus, whatever happens in Chennai and started living with Swamiji from home. Advait started experimenting Swamiji's teaching and documenting the curriculum for the school based on Swamiji's teachings. They could see how these teachings brought breakthrough in children's cognition. Paramesha, the younger of their biological sons, proved how Swamiji's spiritual teachings worked wonders on children in the areas of powers, cognition, health, etc. When he overcame pain, when he broke his elbow, took bath in the Vaidyasarovar's cold water, and just in few minutes, his temperature came down to normal from 104 degrees Fahrenheit, and manifesting powers. Like every family, Madhe did not get along with her mother-in-law, but Swamiji had bigger plans. One Kalpataru with her mother-in-law changed her life. On seeing Swamiji for the first time, her mother-in-law said, "It's so nice here. How would it be if we live around him?" That's it. Madhet called Rishi Advait in the break and said, "Let's go and live in the ashram." And to her great surprise, he said yes, without any questions. So in darshan, she asked Swamiji if they can come and stay with him. As Rishidat had not seen Swamiji, he was asked to do the NSP program. So they came to ashram for the first time, the whole family. And the ashram was worse than a desert, no one around, so they went to the banyan tree. It was so quiet and they started to meditate. But suddenly, in few minutes, the whole tree started dancing in the winds for 15 minutes. It felt like the whole tree was really inviting them home with all the love in the world. So they felt so connected to the tree. First experience. Divine marketing department in the ashram who they got connected to. Then in January 2010, Swamiji came to the Advait's home. The Advaits had built a new beach house which was planned for 8 years and built for 2 years and moved in just in 2 months. Swamiji came and did Arati and sat in the sofa and told them that they'll have thousands of schools all over the world. He took pictures with them and finally they asked only one thing: when can we come to ashram? He said, "You will come." And Advaits really came June 25th, 2010. In the life as an Adinavasi, where the Advaits experienced, so when the Advaits really came to ashram on June 25th, 2010, and they all lived happily ever after. How? In the life as an Adinavasi, where the Advaits experienced Swamiji as son, brother, their deepest loving guru. Swamiji has been so nice to the Advaits that they are an envy to all. Like Madhet sailing in a boat ride alone and having his coffee or him feeding from the same plate just like mom and son. As per Madhet, most of the time she does not understand what he says. but she knows the love will take care of her and bring her back to the space that she should be in. She needs to only let him to work on her and be integrated to what she is to him. Today, Madit feels clearly that no one other than Swamiji can be so unconditionally compassionate at any cost, whatever damage you do, and waiting patiently and removing and moving you slowly, step by step, carrying you in one or two hands when you are throwing all the tantrums. My God, this really takes to be a God. Everyone, once in a while, we should see the world from his shoes, and then you will realize real surrendering. Mahadvait thanks Swamiji for all the experiences and accepting this tantrum throwing sister, and still so sweetly waiting to listen to all these. Now let us introduce Rishi Advait. He is Mahadev's husband, and Swamiji. And Swamiji's Nesamalar. Rishi Advait can be seen as one who will stand up and beat anyone for Swamiji, and he is also the one who gets beaten for anything that goes wrong in the Adinam. Everyone feels Rishi Advait has still not grown up. So once he grows up, we will have more information to introduce him. So we will end this with a quote from Rishi Advait, which sums it all. Swamiji, you were not a reason for me to come into this Adinam, but you are the reason why I am not able to lead the Adinam. So now, I request a Pasamalar and a Nesamalar to take their turn, take this opportunity to ask all their questions to the Avatar.
Nityanandam Paramasukhadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasyaadhilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami.
Om Nityanandeshwara Sadashiva Samarambam Nityanandeshwari Adishakti Madhyamam Asmadacharya Parayantam Vande Guru Paramparam. You can start.
Swamiji, first we want to thank you for making us part of your life.
Swamiji, we want to always be with you in whichever form you are, and we want to only in the thoughts of Swamiji, we want to live around you.
Tatast. Together?
That Swamiji will decide.
No, I'm asking both of you together.
So you got the answer, Swamiji.
Come on.
So, Madhvait want to ask the first question, Swamiji. Swamiji always says Swamiji has come down for Gurukul. And what is the larger vision for the whole world for Gurukul to be functioning all over the world?
Let me put it very clearly, precisely. The superconsciousness which reflects on the human body. Listen, human body goes through the evolution in this plane, but the superconsciousness which is reflecting on the human frame is from Kailasa. Child is a honeymoon season of consciousness from which is from Kailasa, and the evolved frame of planet Earth. Understand? Evolved human body of the planet Earth and superconscious reflection from Kailasa. These two meets when a child takes birth, and the childhood period means till the age of 14. That is the honeymoon between the evolved human body and the superconscious reflection. During that honeymoon itself, the child should be given the understanding and should be supported, helped to live that superconsciousness permanently. Understand? Every child born on the planet Earth, before the child becomes physically matured, 14, it should be taught experientially. See, not just intellectually, it should be taught experientially about the self, life, from where he is coming, how he is going to move, what is life. Based on that cognition, experience, he should start thinking, functioning. That's all is the job of the Gurukul. Understand? I am defining the whole Gurukul. When a child is born, he is having the honeymoon experience with the superconsciousness. Our superconsciousness is having honeymoon experience with the body. That first 14 years, that honeymoon time, at that time itself, child should be given the experience of who he is and what the life should be, understandings, everything, above all the powers of Kailasa. Understand? Before the honeymoon ends, they should be taught how to make the life beautiful. What is honeymoon? Fundamentally, when both of you are ready to accommodate each other, it is called honeymoon. As long as you both are ready to accommodate each other, honeymoon continues. When one decides to become rigid, over. It's all how both of you decide to approach the life decides honeymoon. Here, the first 14 years, body and consciousness are ready to accommodate each other. First time both of them are enjoying each other, experimenting with each other. Whatever consciousness wants, body is ready to adjust and create itself newly. Whatever body wants, consciousness is ready to accept, adjust. Still both of them have not frozen, saying, this is me, this is my boundary, be there. Or this is me, this is my boundary, be there. No. Still, both of them are melting, merging, relaxing. During that time itself, right conscious understanding about life, body, everything should be given. I tell you, It is right conscious understanding manifests as power. See, powers are nothing but powerful cognitions. Whatever powers I am giving is nothing but I am just putting that into their DNA. I am bringing the powerful cognitions and adding it into their DNA. That's all manifests as power. Fundamentally, any child before 14, before he or she becomes physically matured, should be experientially initiated into mysteries of life. The child should start exploring powers and possibilities of life. He does not need to learn alphabet. He needs to learn all the things out. Understand, the whole education is restricted to educator. That should be broken. Education should be based on who is getting educated, not restricted on educator. The person who educates, because of his ignorance, he vomits only what he thinks, and his limited understandings becomes the understanding for a child, which is absolutely wrong. Absolutely wrong. Gurukul is a place where exploring the powers and possibilities are given to every child. I feel every child who is born on the planet Earth, it is a birthright of the child to know birth rightly. It's birthright of every child to know the birth rightly. I think knowing the birth rightly is all about Gurukul. The Gurukul should be the lifestyle. Gurukul should be education style, not just in India, all over the world. This should be the way kids should grow up. Meccalei's system is outdated. It is no more useful, at least not after 1978. The alternative system is already available, 2006. From 2006, the alternative system is available. So it is time we fundamentally make the science of life available to the whole world. I think we should make it completely internet-based. That's the only way we can scale it up. Because we cannot be waiting for infrastructures. We cannot be wasting our time for the construction of the buildings. We should straight away start the Gurukuls through the internet, through the best brains should sit here and conduct classes every day. All over the world, we should have just coordinators. We don't need educated, trained. We just need the housekeeping people who will keep the hall, properties clean, kids will gather, they will have classes, their questions will be answered, they will be given food, they will go back. Or they don't even need to gather, they can study from home. Do power manifestation, study from home, only come for initiations, contact classes here. I think cognizing the cosmos before you become physically matured is maturity of life. Anybody who has become physically matured without getting consciously matured is an unenlightened being. Anybody who is consciously matured before physically getting matured is an enlightened being, Paramahamsa. The purpose of Gurukul is to produce conscious cognition, cosmic cognition beings. They should know what is life. They should not be thinking their life is only the life of their skin. Their color is only the color of their skin. The understanding about what they think as them is not them. The ideas they carry as them is not them. This should be very clearly given as a realization. Even if the mosquito bites them, the operating, reacting, responding, even for a mosquito bite, it should be from cosmic cognition, not from the small understanding of I am the body, this is my skin, mosquito is sitting, it is biting and sucking my blood. No, no, that is not Nityananda Gurukul way. Whether it's a mosquito biting or day-to-day lifestyle questions. Why should I get up early morning, 8:30? Nowadays 8:30 has become early morning. Why should I do puja? Why should I do yoga? Whether it is a questions about day-to-day life or reactions for any situation, everything should be based on cosmic cognition. Gurukul is all about evolving the beings of cosmic cognition.
Swamiji, you are a big proponent of the sannyas parampara. But for Gurukul, we need children. So that means we also need to have the grahasthas.
Yes, we need children for Gurukul. Yes.
So, what is your guidelines or your vision for grahasthas?
Whoever is married should give one children every year. And you cannot be stopping one or two. And understand. See, let me analyze this thought current. First of all, it's not that everyone is going to take sannyas. That will be very minuscule percentage. And I do strongly recommend all the consciously asserting living Hindus give birth every year one child. No, really, please understand, not only internationally, even in India, we are minority. Don't think we are majority. Statistics are not right. Understand? If you see all the psychologically converted and the cat on the wall population, already 50% is outside Hinduism. Another 20% is this Nadu Center Hinduism. Nadu Center means they do not know anything about Hinduism. We will eat in the kitchen also and restroom also. We will eat here also and there also. What is the problem? Yeah, all room only na eat. What is that? Understand, That Nadu Center group, 20%. Consciously, people who are feeling we are Hindus and practicing Sanatana Hindu Dharma is less than 30%. Understand? This is my humble request to all practicing Hindus. Do not bother. Surely they will not be in poverty. It is time we decide to give birth left and right. Left, right, center. At least one child a year. I am telling you, if we don't produce and groom consciously practicing Hindus, I don't even want to even imagine if we don't know. It is going to be disaster. Understand? It is going to be disaster. We Hindus are still sleeping, thinking, oh, Sanatana Hindu Dharma cannot be destroyed. What foolish talk. See, 200 years before, from Gandhar to Malaysia, from Gandhar to Malaysia, Gadaram, we have Rajarajan's, the Subramanya temple, Shiva temple built by Rajarajan. And the Cambodia temple is Rajarajan's great-grandson, Suryavarman. Rajarajan's Pattabhishekam name is Arunmozhivarman. So the Varma tradition, the name Varman is the Pattabhishekam name. And the king who built Cambodia temple is Suryavarman. So his direct DNA, understand, from Gandhar to Cambodia, 200 years, even 200 years before. See, Gandhar and Cambodia, all those civilizations flourished 1000 years before, but till 200 years before, Sanatana Hindu Dharma was practiced as a lifestyle from Gandhar to Cambodia. Now where? Not even Kanyakumari to Kashmir. Kanyakumari is gone, Kashmir also gone. It's between Arakkonam and Varanasi. Understand the way we shrunk. From Gandhar to Gadaram, shrunk. It is now only between Arakkonam to Varanasi. Neither above Varanasi nor below Arakkonam. And don't be in the fantasy. Sanatana Hindu Dharma cannot be touched. It is there, Sanatana. If you listen to me, it will be Sanatana. Understand? It is a very serious subject. Fundamentally, Hindus, 99% are Grihasthas. Only 1% is sannyasis. Let that 1% sannyas live the sannyas life. And 99% produce. See, let me very little more down to earth. Average productive years. 25 if they get married. Maybe till 45. I will say unabashedly, give birth to 20 children. No, I will say unabashedly, understand you are not realizing the danger in front of you. Give birth to 20 children, bring them up, at least give 10 to Gurukul. Please understand, world can be saved only by Sanatana Hindu Dharma. Sanatana Hindu Dharma can be saved only by the Gurukul. Gurukul can be saved only by the married couples of Hinduism. I am not joking. Jokes apart. I am not joking. This subject may look very jovial, but I am very serious. It is time we take this very seriously, expand practicing Hindu population. Understand, very important thing is the practicing Hindu population is dwindling literally in a speed, in an extraordinary rapid speed. How they claim fastest growing religion, I should say, as on now, fastest dying religion is Hinduism. Understand, we can't afford this. We cannot afford this. We need to do something very strong and very important. The practicing Hindus number need to be increased. And teachers for teaching, acharyas of Hinduism need to be created. It is possible only by Gurukul. Gurukul need to be populated only by Grihasthas. So I will strongly recommend, as long as you are a Grihastha, one child a year. When you are not able to do that, take Vanaprastha Sannyasa. When you feel one child per year is not possible, then take Vanaprastha. Why waste life unnecessarily? Then why Grihastha life? That is too much of maintenance. Take Vanaprastha. As long as you are a Grihastha, one child a year. I feel it may look jovial, funny. I know a lot of jokes will be created around this instruction, but I am talking to my disciples who are living Hindus, practicing Hindus. This danger is only for practicing Hindus. If you are not a practicing Hindu, this danger is not for you. You are not going to care about Hinduism. Whoever is practicing Hindu, who cares about Hinduism, listen to my words. We are already minority. We are in danger. Extinction is happening too fast, too rapid. Understand the speed with which we are getting extinct is already, I tell you, many of our small indigenous sampradayas are dead. Many of our indigenous sampradayas are dead. You don't know. When I was born 39 years before, the sampradayas which were alive, many of them are not practiced now. They are not alive. I have seen some of the very powerful sampradayas, indigenous traditions dying in front of my eyes. They are no more practiced. Those great spiritual giants are no more alive. The traditions are no more alive. I have seen sadhu sitting in one place without moving, eating, drinking, nothing. Just sitting in samadhi, eyes will be open. He will open his eyes once in a while and bless people, sitting like that for 20 years. But unfortunately, those sampradayas are not kept alive. Nobody has picked up that science from him. It's a science. Because there were nobody who is interested to go and live around him and learn that science. He just died without transmitting that science to anybody. Same way I have seen some of the most wonderful spiritual practices, indigenous practices, the local village practices, dying. I've seen the dead animals coming back to life through this kind of pujas and rituals and practices. Unfortunately, the next generation is not keeping all that alive. Understand? Already lot of indigenous Hindu traditions are dead. If we are reducing, shrinking the number of practicing Hindus, whatever is now remaining, that few things, like a Shanmata, Vedanta, little Agama, I don't know how long all these will be alive. I know how the traditions used to flourish, now how it's drying down. It is time all practicing Hindus, only practicing Hindus are going to listen even to my satsang, what I am saying. So if you are listening to this, if you are sympathetic towards Hinduism, if you are a practicing Hindu, make more and more human beings live, practice Hinduism. That's all.
Swamiji, Madhvit question is, parents are equally nowadays interested in different possibilities. So they are very welcoming sannyas. But the one thing is very gray area is like they have a career path, stability and everything when they take a regular outward life. They want to know, like sannyas, what is the stability path for them?
Which profession has no risk or problem or complications during economic meltdown? When there are global economic meltdowns, when there are global economic difficulties, when the Wall Street is melting down and collapsing, did the people of career felt stability or we felt stability? Understand. Nityananda Sannyasa, our Sannyasa Sampradaya, is contributing Sannyasa Sampradaya. So there is no difficulty about the career and stability in the life. See, those days sannyasis who are dependent only on the alms, what people drop few coins, begging, little food or little dakshina, only they need to bother about the stability of their life. We are a very organized, with a huge, clear, defined vision, mission, motto, ideal, Sangha Sannyasis. Understand? We are not Parivarajaka Sannyasis. We are Sangha Sannyasis. So ours is the most stable life than any top Fortune 500 company. Understand? Maybe the parents need to understand Sangha Sannyasa is the most powerful career opportunity. If you see each kid, if they were outside, what will be their studying, standard of education, knowledge? What will they be contributing to society? Now here, what is their standard, study, education? What are they contributing? Your kids are sitting and taking programs where so-called PhDs are falling at their feet. See the world tour. All the kids are sitting in throne. And see the kind of a people coming and falling at their feet. It's not that only today it is going to be a status for them. It's their lifestyle. Understand? The faulty generalization of the Parivarajaka Sannyasis and Sangha Sannyasis is wrong. We are not Parivarajaka Sannyasis, we are Sangha Sannyasis who belongs to Sangha, and Sangha has a huge organizations and institutions which is owned and run by the Sangha Sannyasis. So I should say, Sangha sannyasis are only psychological tyagis. But physically they are not, they are kings. I should say, Raja outside, sannyasi inside. See the way the kids are ruling the Rangarajya. This is in Houston. In everywhere, how they rule the... To tell you honestly, even when I went to New York, this crowd did not gather. Even when I went to Houston, this crowd did not gather. If you take out the pictures of my personal visits and world tours, you will not see this huge, this large crowd. So understand, our sannyasis are Sangha sannyasis. So the whole concept is different. Our parents should understand this is the most stable life they will have. This is the most stable career they can give for their kids.
Swamiji, that brings us to the last part of our this Ask the Avatar. So here I have a lot of questions. I would call it as the rapid fire questions for Swamiji. So it's going to be fun as well as informative for all of us. And well, the expectation is Swamiji will answer quickly. But if Swamiji wants to explain some concept why he chose, Swamiji can do that.
சேர்ந்தே இருப்பது சேராதிருப்பது
Swamiji, the first question, Rama or Krishna?
Ramakrishna.
Vedas or Agamas?
Vedagama.
Sundarar or Manika Vachakar?
The Sundara Tanmai of the Manika Vasagar or Manivasagam of the Sundarar.
Okay, let's see. At least for one question, at least you should have only one answer, Swamiji. Facebook or YouTube?
Share the YouTube in Facebook and Facebook in YouTube. Put the link of the Facebook in YouTube comments and share the YouTube video as the Facebook status.
Pavalakundru or Omkareshwar? Pavalakundru or Omkareshwar?
In Tamil I will answer. பவழக்குன்றில் பழுத்தாலும் ஓங்காரேஸ்வரிலேயே உலகிற்கு தெரிந்தது. பவழக்குன்றில் தான் பழுத்து ஓங்காரேஸ்வரில் தான் விதை மற்ற பழங்களை அளிக்கும் அளவிற்கு மலர்ந்தது. பவழக்குன்றில் தசை பழுத்தது, ஓங்காரேஸ்வரத்தில் விதை வெடித்தது.
Vibhudanandapuri or Yoganandapuri?
Yoga taught by Vibhudanandapuri and the techniques of Tantra taught by Yogananda, whether the male component or female component, Vibhudananda or Yogananda, the teaching, the Guru Tattva matters. Whether Madhvait or Sri Advait, the integrity they hold to Gurukul matters.
Let me try something very simple. Tamarind rice or dosa?
Tamarind dosa. Because rice is already in dosa, just the tamarind need to be added.
Swamiji's experience in the Ramakrishna mission in the Chennai Mutt or Belur Mutt?
Swamiji is a person who gathers experience, so Chennai or Belur does not matter. His ability to gather experience matters.
With respect to our typical Tamil Nadu South Indian culture, Cholas or Pandyas?
Chola Raja's daughter, Kanchanamala, married to Pandya king, they gave birth to Meenakshi. It is historical. Chola Raja's daughter, Kanchanamala, married to Pandya king and gave birth to Meenakshi.
Shivastamba or Kundalini Rajju?
As long as the word R, O-R, comes, the life also will be R, O-R. This or that or this. I tell you, life is never O-R. Life should never be looked as from the prism of O-R. It should be looked from the prism of and. Shivastamba and Kundalini Rajju. In any spectrum, I tell you, when you move into the Shivastamba like a snake, when you are behaving like a stamba on a rope, on rope be Shivastamba, on Shivastamba be Kundalini Rajju. That's it. On stamba be Rajju, on Rajju be stamba.
Since it's getting very interesting the way Swamiji is explaining, I have a few more questions on that, Swamiji. Songs or dance?
When you listen to the song, your being will be dancing. When your being dances, there will be music released. Try to dance without visualizing music. Try to sing without visualizing moving, dancing. Dance while you sing, sing while you dance.
Since we just had the Skanda Sashti over, I did the question on that. Ganesha or Subramanya?
விநாயகர் விவேகம், முருகன் வீரம். வீரமில்லாத விவேகம் கோழைத்தனம், விவேகமில்லாத வீரம் மூடத்தனம், கொடூரத்தனம். விவேகம் இல்லாத வீரம் கொடூரத்தனம், வீரம் இல்லாத விவேகம் கோழைத்தனம். விநாயகரா முருகனா அப்படிங்கிறத விட விவேகமா வீரமா அப்படிங்கிறத விட இரண்டினுடைய முழுமை, இரண்டினுடைய கம்ப்ளீஷன், இரண்டினுடைய ஃபுல்ஃபில்மெண்ட், அதுதான் நம்முடைய குருகுல். இங்க இவங்களுக்கு நான் விவேகத்தையும் கொடுக்காமல்ல, வீரத்தையும் கொடுக்காமல்ல, ஒன்றை மட்டும் கொடுத்து இன்னொன்று கொடுக்காம விட முடியாது, ரெண்டையும் கொடுத்தாகணும். See, fundamentally, action or intelligence, both are required. So, விநாயகனும் முருகனும்.
Swamiji in Samadhi or Swamiji as a Samaji?
Samadhi or Samaji. Samadhi Swami or Samaji Swami. சமாஜி சுவாமியோட ஹீட் ஜாஸ்தி ஆகும்போது சமாதி சுவாமியோட கூல் ஆயிக்கணும். Samadhi is the place, space, vision develops. Samaji is the place, mission develops. Vision inspires mission, mission gets more vision.
The last question in that was Ma Advait or Shri Advait?
I think இதை நாம் குழந்தைகளிடமே விட்டுவிடலாமே. So let the kids decide. Come on.
Swami, that brings us to the end of our Ask the
Yes.
Avatar.
So now I have a beautiful present for both Advaits. Singama, Puliya. So, to run the Gurukul, the Adhigara Pirambu for running the Gurukul, lion for Ma Advait, and tiger for Sri Advait. Blessings. Blessings. See, actually today's as the avatar and my relationship with Mahadvait and Sri Advait is same. what kind of a questions Madhvait asked, what kind of questions Sri Advait asked, that shows the kind of a relationship they cherish with me. Understand one thing, with whom you will hand over the most important treasure of your life, highly trusted persons. What is the most important treasury of my life? My kids. So to whom I handed over both of them? That shows, that makes the statement of how I hold Madhvait and Sri Advait. So, now Gurukul, be aware, I have given both of them stick and the authority to use. So, get ready and prepared, be integrated. So with this, I bless you all. Let's all radiate. We have a beautiful Subramania's Therotam, the procession. So I bless you all. Let's all radiate with integrity, authenticity, responsibility, enriching, causing, living Shuddhadvaita Saivam, Sada Shivoham, the eternal bliss, Nityananda. Thank you. Be blissful.